case clean, I won't shroud it in no love. Getting laced at the seams, turning powder into dust. I need space for my team, it's getting crowded in the club. Now I walk with a goddess, she a full course meal while I...
What's up, guys? It is Monday, it's 6 a.m. and this is the crypto market update. So we already know the government bond yields are in a downtrend. You can see we're on the 2-week chart and the stock RSI is crossed down. We see the TSI crossed down, the MACD is turning red. I believe that the direction of the bond yields are lower. Same with the dollar. We were calling it right at the top when it was at 113. I believe that the direction of the dollar is lower with the stock RSI crossed down here. We just got into this oversold territory. We can last down here for a while. We have the TSI crossed down, MACD crossed down, and on the 2-week chart, we're sitting right on top of this 50 line, the 50 horizontal yellow line on the RSI. A break below that would be the seal of the deal to me. We're still sitting at that critical level as far as the Fibonacci retracement in the dollar, from this low to this high back down to the 786. So if we do hold this level, I mean, if we're going to hold the level, it would be this one. So that's sitting around 104.27. And if we do break that, it's likely we're going to come down to 101.58. We break that, we'll head lower down to like 95. We head back up here. I want to see a rejection around 108 to 110. That area around here, this was like a zone where we found rejection to support to rejection. So if we come up here 108 to max like 110, that's where I'd want to see us get rejected if we do pop back up in the dollar. But I'm sticking to it. Bond yields in the dollar, overall trend is turning to the tides are turning on them for 2023 to go down. All right, now we're looking at the NAS 100, the US NAS 100. And we are holding that critical level, right? We're saying 11,500. We had multiple weeks now. It's been like a month. And we've been holding at that 11,500 as support. And we were watching the stock RSI for a cross down, and we wanted the MACD to maintain green. So far, we're all good there. We need to see this 11,500 hold. If we break that, I'm giving us to like 11,000. If we break through 11,000, it's not going to be good. I really just want to see us get back above 12,700 we were saying the other day to kind of get out of the woods here. It would get us above this EMA ribbon on the 1-week chart, and it would break us above the 2-week ribbon as well too, where we can kind of start battling this and getting above and holding it as support. And we're looking at the 2-week stock RSI cross up. Same with the MACD curling in here and the TSI. This candle closes in 4 days, so it's going to be a critical week. Definitely a telling week as far as how 2023 is going to shape up. We do have the prepare to buy soon signals in here, and now we're just waiting for that confirmation buy now vertical blue line to flash. So that's what we're looking at as far as the 2-week chart. We do see the US NAS 100 is seeing some of the cross up, right? But we're at that critical zone that if we get rejected and pull back down, we could be pulling a great financial crisis type crash. So be prepared for that scenario if we break down here, and especially with a narrative, a news event. Then we got the gold right here, the 2-week chart. And we're looking at the times where it's called the bottoms right here, here, and here. I mean, Stargate signals hit it pretty nice as far as local bottoms or just like the overall bottoms of the whole macro trend. It would have told you to sell here in 2008. Then we pulled down from 1,000 down to 700. Told you to sell a little bit up here at 1,500 and then at 1,800 back in 2011. Told you to buy 2013 down at like 1,200. Told you to buy again in August 2015 around 1,100. Same over here in 2017. Same in 2018. Then we had one sell here at 1,500, then another sell at 2,000, and now we're getting prepared to buy soon around that $1,600 level. So given the past, 10 years, it has called it pretty well as far as local bottoms and local tops. So I do believe that gold has already bottomed, and we're going to start curling up here and start breaking through 1800 and seeing some fireworks, because we do see the stock RSI 2-week chart crossed up, showing a lot of momentum. TSI is about to cross, and the MACD as well too. All great signs. So that's where I see what I see in gold. Then if we're looking at the total crypto market cap, we're on the 10-day chart. We have the prepare to buy soons in here, and we have all the same things that we're watching on a higher time frame. We are looking at the sell that came in right at the 2018 top, then the buy now that came in right at the bottom of 2019 bear market, and then we had the top hit it right to a T, May of 2021. And then we have the prepare to buy soon, just like back here, prepare to buy soon. We've already came down, and we're holding this 200 moving average as support right now. It's sitting around 750 billion. That's a key level as far as the total crypto market cap. So given that we're on this critical support that is held that support every single time here, like you could probably stretch that out and that would have hit, plus the prepare to buy soon, it does seem like this could be, the level for the bottom. There's a lot of confluence, and if there's any place we're going to bottom, it'd be here. If we break lower, we're definitely in a type of maybe a black swan event type of thing. If there's any place to find a bottom, it would be here. We hit the top here, hit the bottom here, hit the top here, hit the bottom here. You would have just took 4 trades, a sell, a buy, a sell, a buy, and you would have crushed it since 2018. So it's hitting it to a T. What I want to see is us hold this level, and then us ultimately get above 1 trillion market cap to really show us that, hey, we are changing the trend, and we could come back up to here, retest like 1.33 trillion to 1.5 trillion. So if we get above 1 trillion, that's where I'm going to be eyeing. And I'm looking at the 10-day stock RSI and TSI cross up. We're definitely going to hit this bottom as far as the crypto market goes, because if we see the 10-day TSI cross up, we're so close to it, plus the MACD being green, plus the stock RSI crossing up, which all it's going to take is one little uptick and we'll be there. We'll see this pull back up. We'll see the TSI across the MACD, and then this will start to gain some steam, and it will likely be our bottom. And then we'll get our vertical blue line, which called it the last time. So I have a strong belief that we're going to be well ahead of this market as far as knowing, hey, the bottom's in, or knowing when the top's in, especially by looking at the 10-year bonds, the dollar, the stock market, gold, total crypto market cap, and then looking at the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Same thing. I mean, we hit the top to a T right here in May of 2021. We have the prepare to buy soon that's flashed, and we're on the 2-week chart for this, so not the 10-day but the 2-week, and we're very close for a TSI cross up with a MACD flip from red to green, with the stock RSI crossing up like that as well too, which would be super bullish. And then we have this trend line coming down like this that we already got rejected off with that FTX thing. And then you could say that we have a trend line that could come down like this. I mean, that would be a black swan event type thing if we drop down to here. But we are, I believe, hanging around these lows. Yeah, right at these lows that we set back over here in June. It could have been a fake breakdown to extreme move back up, just like back over here where we had, a fake out to the upside. If we were to put a line of resistance, fake out to the upside, broke back down, 1, 2, fake breakdown, then we could come back up like that. Or it could be a scenario where there is a black swan and we do break down to those levels. It's a matter of being on top of the market, especially during these times, critical moment imminently to the next couple of weeks here. So if you're not already in the Discord, join the Discord. The link will be in the bio, and get yourself in this community where we're updating you in real time when stuff happens. We're up around the clock here. So definitely join the Discord. The link will be in the bio. One thing that is going to really put us ahead of everybody else, because I haven't seen this chart being brought up at all, and it's the stock market against Bitcoin. And it is called the market bottoms of Bitcoin since 2015. And let me show you. All right, so we're really going to dig into this. and look at kind of this pattern that plays out. And you know what? I'm going to pull up the Bitcoin chart along with this so we can get a comparison how it's called the bottoms. All right, so I'm going to try to match this up as good as possible here. All right, now I'll even just hide this because we don't need that. We just know that every time Bitcoin or the stock market against Bitcoin kind of goes into this downtrend, crypto is extremely bullish, or Bitcoin's been extremely bullish. So this is a downtrend, and then you can see we were in this uptrend with the crypto market. So crypto market going up, stock market against Bitcoin going down. When we hit our bull market top, that's when we see the trend change as far as the stock market against Bitcoin. And the stock market starts to have this kind of sideways upwards drift in a channel, right? While the Bitcoin market goes on its complete bear market crash. And then at the point where we break the bottom support of this channel is when we go and we take off on our next bull market. So we broke out of the bear market here and we broke down from the channel right here. And then we had our uptrend in Bitcoin. And it's not no surprise. And you can see how I'm moving my cursor here, and you can see how it's moving on both these charts. Like if I just mark right where the trend changed right here, like where we put in our top in 2017 for Bitcoin was right at that moment where we found our bottom as far as the stock market against Bitcoin. And we went on another kind of upwards kind of drift. And we saw as soon as we break down from that support line, the bear market's over, right? And you can see here, right when we broke down, it was like this point right here was right when we switched from red to green in these candles. And let me actually zoom in a little so you can see. It was, right here where we found our bottom in the bear market. We broke down. We went on a mini run with crypto. And then it was short-lived because we went in that sideways upwards drifting channel again. And as soon as we broke down from it right here in October 2020 and went like this, that's when cryptos went on its massive run like that. And we're in our uptrend. And then this is why I believe we really theoretically topped in May of 2021 because we haven't really had a breakdown from this channel that this upward drift that we usually do, right? We haven't had a breakdown. So us being at the top of the channel here, the stars are aligning in my eyes as far as this to pull back down, the Bitcoin to go like this. And then ultimately, I believe this is going to be where it actually breaks down and does one of its things again. And crypto is going to go on its multi-year bull market. I believe the next bull market that we go into is going to be the hyper boom. It's going to be a hyper cycle. We were extremely suppressed this cycle, and I believe the next cycle is going to make up for it. And yeah, so that's what I'm seeing. Also, now if I just hide, so you can just see the relationship there. Now I'm just going to hide the bottom chart and we're going to look at the NAS 100 against Bitcoin. So the stock market against Bitcoin, and look at the similarities in the bottom indicators here, the 2-week chart. Usually when we break down, and I'm going to hide that, and we're just going to look. Yeah, so all right, here we go. So 2015, where we hit our bear market bottom in crypto, right? Usually this is the type of stock RSI movement we see. We get up into the overbought territory and we're just hanging up there for a bit. And we'll curl down, curl up a little bit until ultimately we have our fall through the 80 line to touch, to kind of just poke our head in this middle here. And then it's at that moment where we curl back up and try to get back above the 80 line where we get rejected. And that's when we break through our channel support. and then we repeat it all over again. So we didn't get up into here. We're spending most of our time down here. And then at this moment, when we had our cross up, we repeated this again, where, we're hanging above this 80 line for a bit. We're doing our cross ups, cross downs. But ultimately, when we cross down into this zone here and then try to reclaim the 80 again and get rejected, is when we actually break down between this below the channel support, and we go on our bull market with crypto. So this had called the bear market bottom 2019, following the stock RSI and this channel strategy. Same with 2015. And now we're seeing the same thing playing out right now as well too. So first off, let me just show how sometimes it could be a little different, because we saw that instead of this channel with the stock RSI playing up in this territory, it kind of had a downwards trend, and ultimately it got rejected by the 50 line here before pulling down and doing its thing here. And then we're seeing a little different type of movement as far as this current channel that we're in. It's not like back here or back here. And that makes sense because Bitcoin is not moving the same as back as 2015 or 2019. It's like rhyming, but it's not similar. So, but what we see is usually like we come up, we pull down, just like back here, we go up again, just like, so how we have 1, 2, 3, right? Just like 1, 2, 3, where ultimately we go down and we dip below the 80 line. Down, dip below the 80 line, we touch the 50, and then we try to come back up to reclaim the 80 or get above the 80, but we ultimately get rejected. And this is going to be the point where we pull down and then we see the actual fall and breakthrough below the support line here. So, and then also you can see how the TSI is like perfectly aligned for that cross down to happen, just like how every single time when it breaks through the channel, the TSI cross down happens as well too with it. So, and even back here too. So all the stars are aligning for me as far as I believe that Stargate is going to call the bear market bottom to a T, as well as we're going to be so ahead of the game just by looking at these things that and kind of pair to pairs that nobody else is watching. It really gives you a different insight and perspective into the market, and we're going to be so on top of it. So if you're not already in the Discord, the link will be in the bio. Join the Discord and say what up. I'll say what up too, and I'll see you guys in the next video.